Brajesh Kumar, diligently preparing for the civil services examination, believes he has studied thoroughly. Despite his dedication, he identifies a common barrier: language skills. This challenge is not unique to him. Tens of thousands of UPSC aspirants share this sentiment. They argue that to accommodate diverse linguistic backgrounds, the UPSC should conduct the civil services examinations in all 22 regional languages recognized under the 8th schedule of the Constitution.
कहीं न कहीं 8वीं अनुसूची में 22 भाषा दिया गया है और हमारे संविधान में समानता का भी अधिकार है। तो हो सकता है कि बहुत सारे व्यक्ति होते हैं, जैसे कि 2 ही भाषा में भी एग्जाम होता है, हिंदी इंग्लिश। तो बहुत सारे व्यक्ति जो साउथ इंडियन है वो दूसरे भाषा जानते हैं। उसके अंदर हो सकता है वो ईमानदार व्यक्ति हो, वो अच्छा समाज को बेहतर कर सके, बट लैंग्वेज के लेकर के वो सहज ना हो हिंदी इंग्लिश से लेकर के, तो उसके साथ तो समझिए कि एक अन्याय हो रहा है, समानता तो नहीं हो रहा है। क्योंकि सर भाषा कोई एक मतलब ये नहीं है, किसी को माप नहीं सकते भाषा से। कोई व्यक्ति अगर भोजपुरी बोलते हैं, कोई व्यक्ति इंग्लिश बोलते हैं या कोई हिंदी इंग्लिश बोलते हैं, इससे आप उसके नॉलेज के बारे में नहीं आंक सकते हैं। क्योंकि भाषा एक गिलास के समान समझ सकते हैं। गिलास में जैसे कि चाहे स्टील का गिलास हो या शीशा का गिलास हो, अगर प्यास बुझाना है किसी भी गिलास में अगर पानी हो तो आप पी सकते हैं और उसको बुझा सकते हैं।
The thing is, like, I'm talking in English because I can afford the education, but many people can't afford the education in English. They can go to government schools which are in Tamil medium in Tamil Nadu. So for them it is like a dream to become an IAS or IPS officer, but because of this language problem they can't able to climb till that high.
Like Brajesh and Shivrama Krishnan, many UPSC aspirants believe that setting the civil services examination papers solely in Hindi and English gives an unfair advantage to those proficient in Hindi at the expense of candidates fluent in other regional languages. Jatish, who has been preparing for 7 years, insists that it is high time for the UPSC to adopt a more inclusive approach in conducting its examinations.
I've been preparing for UPSC for past 7 years. I mean, my mode of medium of language is English, obviously, because Tamil, there is no question paper related to Tamil and English. There is always the question paper is Hindi and English. So I find it difficulty. Let me get to the point. Actually, I find it difficulty to use Hindi as the medium of language because you see, I have given some state PSC exams. I have given, more than 2-3 attempts. I have given state PSC exam. In state PSC exam, we have English medium question as well as Tamil medium question. So there which I find it very comfortable is, while if I am having any trouble in English while reading the question paper or using the technical words, I can read it in from my regional language, which is very comfortable for me to understand the question much better way. So but in UPSC, they don't have these options right now.
First of all, we live in a country where we have different religion, different languages. If people and citizens of our country are demanding that all the 22 languages should be there in our paper, I think this is a valid point. We should respect it, and I think government should take action for that.
S. Balamurugan, a UPSC aspirant himself, has taken this cause to the Madras High Court, filing a petition demanding that the UPSC conduct its exams in all 22 languages listed under the 8th schedule. In response, earlier the Madras High Court had directed the UPSC and the DOPT to respond to Balamurugan's contentions. Speaking to the probe, Balamurugan shared that for over a decade, he has been advocating to make the UPSC exams more inclusive. He emphasizes that his decade-long advocacy for inclusivity in UPSC exams transcends mere language issues. He views it as a constitutional right.
We are praying for this PAL is related to asking for conducting the civil services examination in all the 22 languages that are mentioned in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. When Hindi speaking students are getting the right to answer, appear in civil service examination in their own mother tongue, that is in the Hindi. So the same right or privilege is not given to non-Hindi speaking, like our Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, Telugu, Bengali or Northeastern languages. So we are denied this right. So this particularly affects the right to equality. It affects the freedom of speech and expression. So when freedom of speech and expression, the constitution is guaranteed, but we can't answer a question when we couldn't understand the part of the question paper. UPSC civil service examination, like this is the steel frame of Indian administration. and they are civil servants are involved in policy formulation and policy execution. So when this has to be inclusive, so when this can be inclusive, like people from all parts of this country, non-Hindi speaking states from southern part of India or eastern part of India, they have to be participate in all this policy formulation thing. And the students, many of them from rural background, they are little bit reluctant and hesitating in appearing for civil services, because many of them they will write for state services examination. But most of the people, those who are giving group 1 examination in state services, they are little bit reluctant because of only they have question paper in English, the other part is Hindi. So this right is denied for the whole of majority of students who are appearing for civil services.
The mains decision of inclusion of 22 languages are not tough. Why it is not tough? As I told you, it is not more than 18,000 students who appear for mains examination. 18,000. In which, if you see the data, more than 70-80% people are from English background. I am talking about this 18,000, maximum 18,000 people. So the remaining how many persons are there from regional language? Not more than 5,000 or 4,000 students. So in 5,000, let's say 1,000 maybe Bengali, 500 maybe Tamil, like this one. This is the data. So what happens? We can translate language into this, and there are very few places where the mains examination are held in India. Like in one state, there is not more than 2 places, 1 place or 2 places, especially in the capital city. So we can translate the language, and translation is not tough. We have so many professors in the different parts of India. Like the UPSC can invite the expert, the language expert. Suppose we have to translate into Assami, so we can invite a professor from Assami, and he can help. So only one professor, this is a job of only 5 hours, 10 hours, so he can do it. So this is not tough, we can do it, and even it is not a lengthy process, but this will benefit students a lot.
According to the Press Information Bureau, in 2022, a total of 11,35,697 candidates applied for the civil services examination. Of these, 5,73,735 candidates actually appeared for the civil services preliminary examination. Following this, 13,090 candidates qualified to take the civil services main examination. Many UPSC aspirants told the probe that language is the greatest obstacle before them.
We came from the Kannada background. We don't know proper English and we don't know proper Hindi also. That time we face very difficult. Even though we go RRB exams and some SSC exams also, that time also we face lot of difference, because of when the Hindi belt we say just like Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand and some Bihar states and some Delhi states. That time those people are very easy to crack the exams. We are eagerly to waiting for our regional languages conditions for now. When came in Delhi, I first struggled for the talking in Hindi, first thing. After that, it is a very difficult to talk with normal people in English. This is also very difficult. At the same time, when he came to subjects wise, it is very difficult to understand some emotional subject like ethical subjects. We can't express ethical subject in English. We express very 100% in Kannada.
वो जो हिंदी और इंग्लिश में जितने क्वेश्चंस बनते हैं यूपीएससी के, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हमारे नेटिव लैंग्वेजेस में अगर प्रिंट हो तो हमारे लिए थोड़ा और कन्वीनियंट हो जाएगा, क्योंकि जब हम लोग झारखंड से आते हैं डेली प्रिपरेशंस करने के लिए, यहाँ के जो लैंग्वेज है जैसे इंग्लिश और हिंदी ही बोले जाते हैं, हमारे लिए उतने वो कंफर्टेबल नहीं हो पाते, हमें समझने में प्रॉब्लम होती है, थोड़ा प्रिपरेशन में प्रॉब्लम होती है। अगर वो मतलब क्वेश्चन पेपर PLA जो फाइल जो क्वेश्चन पेपर अगर वो जो है वो हमारे नेटिव लैंग्वेज में हो तो हमें थोड़ा कंफर्टेबल होगा उस चीज़ों को समझने में, अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करने में। थोड़ा सबसे पहला मतलब प्रॉब्लम्स तो यही फेस करना पड़ता है, हमें रिसोर्सेज नहीं मिल पाते हैं अगर हम लोग आइदर ना हिंदी और इंग्लिश बैकग्राउंड के अगर ना हो तो। जैसे हम हमारे झारखंड से तो हमें हमारे नेटिव लैंग्वेजेस में पढ़ाए जाते हैं, हमारे वहाँ संथाली चलता है, बहुत सारे जैसे नागपुरी है, हो है, खोरठ है, वो सारे लैंग्वेजेस में पढ़ाई होती है। फिर हम लोग सडनली यहाँ आते हैं, यहाँ सिर्फ मोड ऑफ या तो इंग्लिश होता है या तो हिंदी होती है जो स्टडी का मीडियम, और तो थोड़ा बहुत रिसोर्सेज नहीं मिल पाते हैं, कंटेंट नहीं मिल पाता है।
Not all UPSC aspirants are in agreement. As we continued our discussions, we encountered mixed responses about the feasibility and challenges of implementing examinations in all 22 scheduled languages.
It is clear that in Hindi and English it is all right for me, because the state examinations are also held, and they are held in the respective languages of the state. So India has official languages as Hindi and English, and even if you are selected in the exam and you are posted somewhere, you should know the Hindi and English, because it is not Hindi, it is English, which is the communicator language of India. People speak more English than Hindi. I am from Punjab, and I have to talk to a guy from South India here. He might not know Hindi, and for that fact, even I might not know Hindi. So we'll talk in English, we'll converse in English. So English and Hindi being a part of this question paper, I think that's all right.
इसीलिए तो पहल दायर की गई है कि 22 लैंग्वेज में उसको कंडक्ट कराया जाए। अब साउथ वाले कुछ और बोलेंगे, और कहीं अदर वाले हैं वो कुछ और अपने लैंग्वेज को रखेंगे। कुछ अब बोलेंगे कि हमको अब मराठी में पेपर को करा दो, कोई हमें बोल देगा कल के डेट में कि भैया हमें तो मैथिली आती है, मैथिली में करा दो। ठीक, हम कल बोल देंगे कि हम भोजपुरी बेल्ट से हैं तो हम भोजपुरी में पेपर देंगे। समझ रहे हैं? तो ये चीज़ें बात फिर तो वही हुई कि आप अपनी अपनी बातें रख रहे हैं, लेकिन आयोग भी तो अपना एक उसका एक अस्तित्व है, उसकी एक अपनी कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट है, तो उस कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट को देखते ही आयोग करेगी। जब हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब यूज करके अपने हिंदी भाषा में बोलकर और कई लैंग्वेजेज में जो जिस स्टेट का था जिसमें समझ सकता था उसके कानों में वही सुनाई दे रही थी, इससे बढ़िया और क्या हो सकता है? गुड गवर्नेंस के लिए इससे बेटर और क्या हो सकता है? ये पार्टिकुलर कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट में होना चाहिए, लेकिन अचानक से कहना कि इस बार से पॉसिबल तो हमें नहीं लगता होगा। बाकी तो बहुत बड़ा गवर्नमेंट के पास बहुत रिसोर्सेज होते हैं, टेक्नोलॉजी है, अब तो AI आ गया।
This excerpt from the government notification states that candidates can answer the exam in any of the languages listed in the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India. However, the question papers are only available in English and Hindi, excluding all other scheduled languages. Many aspirants argue that this restriction creates an uneven playing field, giving those proficient in English or Hindi an undue advantage. They claim that this denial of equal access to public employment is a blatant violation of the Constitution of India.
संविधान के अनुसार जब जैसे भाषा हैं उसके हिसाब से आने से छात्रा को जैसे आसानी भी हो सकती है,
क्योंकि इस तरह से हम लोग ज़्यादा कनेक्ट कर पाएंगे अपने मातृभाषा में। अगर पढ़ाई करेंगे तो नॉलेज को ज़्यादा कनेक्ट कर पाएंगे, ज़्यादा गेन कर पाएंगे हम लोग स्किल को, या फिर ज़्यादा अच्छे तरीके से समझ पाएंगे किसी चीज़ को, कहीं का भी नॉलेज को। क्योंकि इस एग्ज़ाम में यही डिमांड करता है कि बस समझना है लोगों को किस तरह से हम लोग एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन चलाना है, तो इस तरह से सभी सब्जेक्ट को हम लोग पर्टिकुलरली अच्छे तरीके से समझ पाएंगे।
Advocates for this change argue that the current exam format places students from rural and disadvantaged backgrounds who may not be proficient in English or Hindi at a disadvantage. They struggle to fully comprehend the question paper, which is inherently discriminatory. This situation is seen as a denial of equal employment opportunities, thereby violating Article 14, 15, 16, 19(1)(a) and 21 of the Constitution of India.
If I talk about prelims point of view, there are 3 stages of examination. One is prelims, mains and interview. Okay. In the prelims, there are question paper which are only in the Hindi and English, and there are more than the 6 lakh students about appear in the examination. Out of 10 lakh about to fill the form. Okay. And then out of this, about 13 to 18,000 students are selected each year. So most of them are from English speaking. Okay, but rare of them are, let's say, from Tamil and Telugu, then Kannada or like Malayalam or Assami or any language. Okay, suppose in UPSC, suppose if any Bihari student, if any Bihari candidate is posted in Tamil Nadu, so in Tamil Nadu he doesn't know Tamil, but after he joins Lavasna IAS, I'm talking the IPS, if he joins the institute, and after the posting they are required to pass a proficiency test in the language in that state. If you posting in Manipur, so you have to, the IAS officer, IPS and other candidate have to pass the examination in the state after the clearance service. So this all process is done. Suppose if we become IFS, so we doesn't need to be know Russian, if we are going to be posting Russia. After clearing IFS, we have been given training for learning language. So this process can be done later on also, and through inclusion of this language, we include everyone. We give equal space to everyone. equal opportunity, equal competition, as it is pointed out in our directive principle of state policy.
The UPSC and the DOPT have so far remained tight-lipped about the issue. As the matter is expected to be heard in June before the Madras High Court, all eyes are on how the UPSC and DOPT will respond to Balamurugan's petition. This case could set a major precedent, potentially reshaping the landscape of civil service examinations in India. A positive verdict could pave the way for inclusivity and greater equity for scores of UPSC aspirants.